Welcome to this week's video. This is our second part of the 10-minute workout where we're doing 5 postures. So 5 postures that you can really get into and use at any time. Try and memorise and bring into your morning or evening practice. So we're going to start standing, and what I want you to do first of all is bring your awareness down into the structure of the body. So we want to think about finding that perfect alignment. As we bring our awareness down into the breath, we can rock forward, rocking back, rocking from side to side, just finding that lovely balance into the body. Tailbone down slightly. The core muscles, remember the core muscles start with the pelvic floor muscles or the band of muscles, not just in the stomach but side and the back. Just slightly activated so we feel a little bit of energy starting to rise, a little bit of movement, relaxing the arms down. I'm going to have 4 nice deep breaths here. Let's close our eyes so we bring our awareness completely into the body. Nice deep inhales. Seeing how much movement you can bring, how much space you can create on the inhale, and how much softness and release you can complete with the exhale. Nice deep breaths. Finding expansion, finding lift. And again. And one more. And then let's bring our hands into Namaste. Interlace the fingers, taking the arms out in front. So you create this space between the wrists. And then we're taking the arms up through the centre line. Try to keep this length through the body. So if you've got restriction to your shoulders, you'll probably find your arms are here. And that's fine, but what we want to do is make sure we don't round and collapse into the position where we start sinking into it. We want to find this length through the back, through the body. And equally, we don't want to scrunch up around the ears, so try and find a little bit of looseness throughout the body. And we're going to find as much length as possible and simply just turning at the ribs from side to side. Now notice I'm not twisting through the body. We can get much more movement by doing this, but I want us to isolate the ribs. So the hips stay forward, and we're simply just isolating the muscles into the back, into the ribs, keeping the legs nice and grounded. Checking we haven't lost our necks by scrunching up round the side of the ears with our shoulders. Keeping a nice fluid movement, activating. This is building up some lovely energy into the back, building that energy up through the spinal column. And then release. What we're going to do now is take the arms behind. Now I want us to be able to round the shoulders up and back and interlace the fingers so we can open into the arms. Now if you're in this position and you've got your arms bent, just to have the hands together, then that is not going to be any good on the shoulders. So what we want to do is have the arms either straight and arms apart, or arms straight and hands together, whichever your shoulders and the freedom of your shoulders today allows you to do. If bringing your hands together is uncomfortable, then have the arms apart. And then what we're going to do is bring the right leg forward, bring the left leg back, and gently we're going to soften into the knees, but bring the body over, opening into the shoulders. So I'm going to take it very high. I'm not going to come down low into that hamstring. Just want to build some heat up into the body, get a gentle stretch into the hamstring, dropping a little bit lower if the hamstring allows. And then releasing the arms, bringing the body up, and then we're into a warrior 1 position. So bringing that back leg nice and straight, front leg bent, finding length again, so it's the same thing into these shoulders. What I want us to do is get freedom of movement in the shoulders so they're not scrunched up around the neck, the front leg's bent, and finding some length. And then what I want you to do is interlace the fingers and do exactly the same. This gentle movement into the ribcage. Hips coming forward, but notice now that we're radiating deeper down into the back, getting some nice movement into the back of the body. And release those arms down. Bring the hands together, coming back into your neutral position. Feet together. Bringing your alignment back into the body. Let's do that again. So first of all, we're interlacing our fingers, taking the arms out in front, taking the arms up, making sure our hips are nice and stationary, And then we're gently going to move round, activating the ribs, the side of the body, the back, getting some movement into these back muscles. Trying to feel them again, rather than thinking of them as a restricted solid lump. Moving, getting some heat, getting that feeling that you're working muscles into your back. And release, taking the hands behind, interlacing if possible, bringing the left leg forward, the right leg back as though we're going to be into a warrior one position, hips coming forward, interlace the fingers, and again we're going to fold over, coming down. Let me change position so you can see a better position, softening to the knees, making sure the left hip's going back to allow this movement, this freedom into the lower back. Giving a nice stretch, activating those hamstrings. One more breath. You might want to take the arms up a little bit more. And then release these arms. Let's scoot the body up into our warrior one position. Front leg bent, back leg straight. Relax the shoulders. Make sure they're not scrunched up round the body. And again, we find that lift first of all. And then this gentle twisting as we interlace the fingers, get that space between the wrists, start feeling some movement into the back of the body, gently moving, lifting to the ribs and relaxing down. Coming now into our final two postures, we're going to come up through the centre, coming down into our chair pose. From chair pose, we get our position in chair pose. We're going to come down into ski, activate the legs, and then back up into chair. We're going to do this 4 times. Down into ski, up into chair, and 3, and up, and last one, 4, and up, and then release the sequence into a forward bend. And here what I'd like you to do is have soft knees, and what we're going to do is a hang breathing, so bringing the stomach onto the thighs, crossing the arms over, bringing the head down, using the weight of the shoulders and the arms to create this lovely traction through the body. Breathing, and here we're going to have 4 deep breaths, really allowing the lower back to release and lengthen from the postures that we've just created. Enjoying the expansion, enjoying the movement through the back. But this is a lovely releasing posture as long as you have your legs bent. Remember, this is not about the hamstrings, it's about releasing the glutes and the lower back. After doing the hamstring work, pulling up into the glutes, we want to make sure we release them. One more breath. And then let's release by bringing the body back into a cross-legged position. Let me come around to face you. And then just allowing all that energy to start radiating around the body. Let's have 4 breaths together. Closing our eyes, just enjoying the heat that's built up around the spine, the back. Nice deep, expansive breaths. And one more. And then gently opening your eyes, enjoying that feeling of movement that you've brought into the back, that heat, and set up ready to start the day. Namaste.
Yeah.